Greetings and welcome back. I just got home from my latest auction haul. A former Oliver dealer closed up and here. Okay, I gotta watch what words I use around the camera because I've got voice commands turned on, and sometimes some words sound like things that make it, you know, not do its job. So anyways, this other Oliver dealer closed their doors the end of 2025, and they're having just had an online auction to get rid of the inventory, clear the buildings out. There were Oliver and White tractor parts, and I bid on them. I run them up some, but I never got a chance to go up there on the inspection days and check things out, see what I would be bidding on. So I finally bowed out, just wasn't sure. Didn't want to get too much money wrapped into it and end up with just a bunch of O-rings and gaskets or something for way more than they were worth. But I did end up with the white, one lot of white planter parts, and you can see there's some gauge wheels. Hopefully you can see them. Let's just climb up in there. We're gonna go through and see what all I found. Mrs. Oliver guy rode along with me, and she filled up totes while I hauled them out to the truck. So thank you, Mrs. Oliver guy. I think she earned her dinner today. And oh, let's see. But yeah, these were pretty easy to see in the pictures, and my planner really could use a new set. And there is 10, and I need 12, so that gets me most of the way there. So I basically paid for the whole lot what the Shoop version of this tire would have cost me for 10 of them. So it's like getting the rest for free. The plan is to pull totes out, see what's in there, and put them in the parts shelves that I have now, you know, and just to keep them where I can find stuff. Some stuff I probably don't have, and I'll just have to find a place to put it and the like. But I even got some the old press wheels, which I've got a Oliver 543 planner that takes that style of closing wheel, so wasn't gonna argue with that. Here's a closing wheel for like a 5100. All right, so what I'm going to do is, since these tires are all going to go on the planner yet this spring, I'm not going to put them into parts. I'll just stack them off to the side here, and then we can take a tote up to the front parts counter and start digging through and putting them away. There's some hex shaft. That piece is just I don't think that's an actual factory one. It's just hex shaft, and I don't even think it's the right size now that I look at it, but there is some factory hex shaft there. That's good stuff to have around too. The nice thing, I mean, you can get it at some steel supply place, but when you get it from OEM, it's plated, so it doesn't rust. Most of the other places that sell it, they're just selling it raw steel. So, yep, let me throw some tires off, and then we can grab one of these and start having some fun. I'm the Michelin Man, or Mike Kelson's worst nightmare, a tire that can't go flat. Here's something I recognize instantly. Probably I'll never need. Seed box for 5000 or 5100 planter. Mine's a 6000 series, different box. Although this might fit on there if worse came to worse. And then some, closing wheel rubbers. CD 1085 something. I don't think we ever stocked those here. So once again, probably who knows if I'll ever use those, but one money buys it all. Okay, I've got a container of parts that we can look through, figure out what's what. I've got a printout from the good old days when the dealership was open of inventory and what all is where, so I can figure out where to put it. And I got my phone here to look up part numbers. I probably should have just brought the laptop down, and I might yet. And then over here, something thought I'd pass by and see what people thought. This was a box of old invoices, receipts, just about everything from the dealership. Roughly mid-60s, but there was kind of a hodgepodge in there. We got this letter from Oliver from 1957. In reference to your letter dated November 30th concerning blah 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 blah, please return your switch that you now have, and we will ship you another one. So apparently some kind of switch they were not happy with. Oliver stood behind it. Let's see, what else did I find? Oh, pricing, number 5 picker. What year was this? 1958-59. Number 5 picker lists at $1,205. Can be purchased for $385.14 down payment. This includes, I guess, some freight and excise tax. Balance due will be this much. Here we got number 4 picker. So stuff like that they priced either at a dealer meeting. Oh, there's something that's about to break adjustments, and anyway, so here's a price quotation for a farmer from the area. A new 548 6/16 automatic reset plow. That was I don't know if the left trade-in. Yep, left must be his trade-in or something. Some disc blades, coulters, wheels, tires, the whole kit and caboodle. Oh, a brilliant packer with hitch and a transport kit. Total cash on delivery, $5,525. Just neat stuff like that. Some stuff is I don't know, junk, and I've been throwing it away, so it just... But anyways, what I thought about doing was pulling one of these boxes out someday and doing a live, probably on a Saturday, and just dig through it. And while you guys watch, and we'll see what we find. I'm looking for a couple of specific things that are currently a surprise for you. But, I mean, look, farm notebook from... It's got the manual of useful facts, which is not describe my brain. Let's see. Yeah, just, I don't know, neat stuff. As I was going through, I'm like, I'm keeping that, but that's going. Old tax reports. There's some stuff, yeah, some of the former employee social security numbers are in there, and they're still alive, so we're not showing that. But back to the job at hand. Let's get these put away. We can mess with that on another date. But yeah, let me know in the comments. That would be, I think that'd be a fun thing to do. And so let's grab this first box. A 3316, so that's more of a, it's calling it a decal set. What it's for? Well, it says white. This might have gotten, most of the planter parts were in all these. I got everything that was in a certain area of bins. Oh, look at that, 4180 decals. I know a certain raw squatch that might like those. Remotes, this, that, the other. Sorry, I'm getting a little excited and not even paying attention to where the camera's at. Yeah, we're gonna just set that to the side for now. That might be some trading fodder with a certain other Oliver YouTuber. So we're finding good things already. W247 525. One of the easiest ways is just open it up. See what's going on in there. Hey, it's a planter sensor, seed tube sensor. Which style plug does it have on it? Oh, the old style, like the Oliver, the separate wire connectors instead of the weather pack. Not a bad property to have. I get the old Oliver planter out and it needs some love. What did I say? W247. And I should be wearing my glasses too. 247 525. 247. I'd be surprised if we didn't carry that. 525 sensor. A539. Oh, I was going to grab a Sharpie, but I guess a pen will work. We'll write A539. So that must be, yeah, bin number 39 on row 5 in section A. Makes that easy. This is basically what we would do. I didn't do too much of it because we had a parts man. But when, parts order would come in for stock, we would just, of course, then we had the computer by the time we closed, but you could pull it up and or the parts card, see where it went, change the inventory, and then, well, would you look at that. Rear view mirror kit. They were a Gale dealer too, and this is a Gale part. It's for the next series after mine, but that don't matter. That's not going to my part. That'll probably go on my skid steer or somewhere else. I don't think I ever had any of these. The cast iron closing wheels for a planter. With our sandy soils, that was too much for around here. What number are they? Some mystery number. Oh, these are into the, it's got an 851 number, so it's a cold water part. Let's see if that's in here. I seriously doubt it. We're gonna need W's. We need to go back the other way. These 851. 70. Oh, that's probably in a different printout. But yeah, like I say, I don't recall ever having any of these, so I'm just gonna have to assign them a location. Just bring up the old phone machine. Got them logged into parts.agcocorp.com, and we can put in that number and see if it's a current one. What did I say? 851 170. 851 170. Oops. If I hit enough ones, 170. No suggestions, so it must not be a current number anymore. 851 170. Yep, I got it right. I'm not going to dig through parts books to find what it goes to. I'm pretty sure I know what it is. $852,718. Apparently they got them. I think these are the same bearings without the bushing on them. These are the gauge wheel bearings. Which, you know, as long as I'm doing those tires, I'll probably change out the bearings while I'm at it. There were two styles. Early on they had a roll pin. Let's make sure we can see here. And then later on they went to a groove. So pin supplies are all shoved in the same bag. Quite a few roll pin style in there. The roll pins would get loose, and man, majority of these are roll pin style. I'll get those in my planter. Here's a set screw style. It's just got a little groove machined in for the set screw to set in. 1, 2 of those. 3 of those, 4, I need a dozen. Some bushings. That might be planter arm bushings. The rest of these, oh, I had some boxes. That might be the same thing. 152, 70, yeah, they changed their packaging back in the Ag 1 days. Plastic bag. Agco days, box. 8, and I might have some in the basement. So that's 8 out of the 12 I need. That's a good start. We'll put those out with the tires. Hey, look, I had more of the new style down in the basement. 852 718. I'll take those out with the others for planter maintenance this spring. New container. Let's see, 852 065. I can tell that's a bearing retainer for an opener blade. I would have said no one messes with those anymore because generally the bearings last as long as the blades do, and there's really not much point. And of course the new blade comes with a new bearing retainer. But I see we have actually stocked them. 852 065. A423. I'll just round all those out and round them down there. Yeah, quite a few of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And they're all Ag 1, which means they're 391. Could be something, it happened to us every now and then. Someone typing in numbers might have meant to order 2 and accidentally hit the 0 button and ordered 20 of them. But I'll go put them in parts, and someday someone can pick them up at my auction for a little of nothing. I do believe I said A423. That's the same location that I put the bearings in. I'm not seeing the others here. We've had them in the past, but I would see 1 or 2 would be plenty. Now I got 20. Stocking targets. There's some soybean discs I already had, but there were some of those at the auction, so I'll be back. W246 534B. That is not on my list. Oh, I think I got quite a few of those. It's just a hose. I'm guessing some kind of fertilizer drop tube or something. Quite a few of them. We'll have to make up a spot for those. These are insecticide drop tubes. I saw they're down. I don't know where they go. We don't even have to look those up. Looks like some liquid fertilizer openers. 852, 813. That might still be a good number. We'll have to look that up. I don't use liquid fertilizer, so I don't really see me using those, but once again, someone can bid on it at my future auction. Oh, back to Agco parts book. That's just, you know, I've got my local dealer chose. There is a little, you know, magnifying glass up here, and then from there you can punch in part numbers like N852 9, yes, 913. No suggestions. Let's try it without the N. 8 5, maybe I typed wrong. 852 9 1 3. No suggestions. So, not a current part. Well, we'll find a home for it too. Well, I think this might be the liquid applicator for a Yetter coulter opener. I actually have some of these, a bushing. What do they call it? I already lost my page. W246 660B 690B 608B. You know, lots of numbers. 248. I'm sorry, 246. Man, I'm just losing it. 608B. I might have been looking at the wrong part number. I really need to go grab my glasses. Yeah. Yeah, I do not have that. It's just a little plastic bushing. That could come in handy for shop stuff, because I don't know what it goes to. I can't believe they go through. This might be a different part number. 852 625. There's a bunch of them in the bottom of here. How many of those did they sell? Apparently not enough, because they have a bunch there, or had a bunch. And these hoses, W245, www. There is a reason for the W. Wasn't the best one, but used to be anything. And around 1957, they switched from part numbers starting with K or whatever, and they switched to a numbering system that you won't be able to follow because I can't hold stuff still. There it goes. So anything starting with it was a 6-digit number. Anything started with a 1 was from the Charles City Tractor Factory. Anything starting with a 2 was from the Plow Factory in South Bend. So that's where planters were also made. So we got a 245 938BS. And as I mentioned in another video, if it ends with an S, that means there's multiple parts to the part. This one happens to come with a little spring clip to hold it on. It's just a fertilizer drop tube. Let's see, I'm trying to remember where 3 was. And 500 series parts were Shelbyville. So like your balers and stuff will start with a 5. 600, I think, was Cleveland. 700 was South Bend number 2, which don't see too many of those because they closed it shortly after they went to this numbering system. And boy, I might want to look that one up. But that was their reason they switched is, they could tell which factory each part was made at by doing this system. And of course, eventually that gives you a million numbers, and you start running out. They would skip numbers like they got into the 108s or something like that with Oliver tractors, and then they jumped up to the 150s, and so some of those numbers didn't get used, and so then they came out with the 30 dash numbers. But back to the original, Rambling was the W. When White bought some other companies, they had a very similar numbering system where there were 6-digit numbers starting with 2, and of course you can't have 2 different parts in your system with the same part number. It's going to cause confusion, and rather than renumbering everything, all the South Bend parts got a W thrown in front of them for White, I'm guessing, and that would help them in their system separate them out from whatever other company they owned had the 200 series numbers. And it seems kind of backwards to me since they kept everything else. I don't know what company it was, but that's the excuse I've heard why they threw the W on front of numbers. So where was I? W245. 938. Yeah, I should have grabbed those glasses. 245. I don't recognize this tube. But it's not one I've got. 245, 938 tube. Those were an A311. Well, I think I'm just going to take this whole thing downstairs. We know where all these babies go. And if I find something else, I'll just have to deal with it. Got a couple of seed tubes with the old style sensors on them. I think they'll still work on a 5000. This is just early 5000 series, just because of the wire hookup. I could change out the sensors if I needed a tube. So I'm trying to decide. Those might just go out to the workshop. That way they're handy if I ever need to replace a seed tube. Sometimes a rock will come up in there bad or something and break things off, and it's still going to drop in the ground, but it definitely makes a difference on how well the seed drops in by the shape of that tube. So you want it to be in good shape. What was that? 702 seed chute. NE032. That's upstairs. I'm trying to clean the upstairs. I think I'll find a spot for it downstairs. Let me go see if I've got some in the other part. I'm here rummaging. No, there's some harness. No actual seed tubes right here. Yeah, I think I'll change the location on those to downstairs. More seed discs, a 248 505B. I recognize them as corn discs. I would say probably maybe a small or a medium disc. If it was a 6000 series or newer, it would have a roll pin hole drilled for positive drive. The 5000, 5100 planters relied on friction, and which worked most of the time, but if they got loose, they could start slipping. 120 cell soybeans. Oh, that's it. There you can see the hole. So this is the that would work in my 6000 series, and I would say that one's used. It still works. Soybean. I would say these must be sugar beet if I had to guess. I've never seen those before. But they're getting where this dealer was starting to get up there in sugar beet country. So that would be my guess. So maybe I'll plant some sugar beet someday. I just have to drill a hole in that to fit my 6000 series planter. A couple different sizes of those must be. This is 247, 455. It's again 120 cell soybean plates. These are the same size. For 455, yep. So looks like there's 2, 4, 6, 8. I got quite a few. All right, these can go downstairs along with the seed tubes. And maybe I'll have to start the sugar beet farm. I guess I was told at one time, long time ago, probably a better part of a century, our area was a predominant sugar beet and navy bean growing area. And then the place that processed sugar beets nearby closed up, and that killed the sugar beet market in this area. And you don't see any here, but you start heading up towards the thumb area of Michigan, the Saginaw Valley, and there's lots up there. But there's still a sugar Michigan Chief sugar, but we make sugar here in Michigan. Last bin, that looks like a cylinder head nut retainer, but I don't recognize the part number. There's an empty bag. That's supposed to be a W. It's a facing, so they say. Let's set that there. A bunch of these tubes, fertilizer drop tubes. I already pulled 6 out to send out to the shop to put on the planter. W245, 365. 240. Already forgotten the number. God. 365. 245, 365. Hose. A420. All right, better make myself a note because I am not remembering anything today. A 20 dash number. That was usually things like, filters and kits and common wear items, I guess. And this is a seed sensor with the weather pack. Nice, nice. So the later connector, probably. Well, definitely the later connector. Let's see if I have 20 dash. Yeah, so like air filters, carb kits. They went into your 20 dash numbers. Okay, yeah, this is vendor 550, 510. Yeah, 550 was white new idea and 510 was white tractors. So that would, well, that's odd. Gotta get past the letters. Make a mess of things. 40 dash. 30. Wish they still had the old computer, but when we shut down the place we got the inventory software from, it was right around 99 Y2K, and they were just paranoid that if we didn't clear out that computer and shut it down forever, it was going to take over the world and maybe unpolish some apples or something. So we finally had to let them connect remotely and basically disable the computer because they did not want to be liable for what it was going to do. And it was an old, outdated operating system. I made a backup of stuff, but just could not get it reinstalled. And fortunately, we had all these annual printouts that we would do for inventory control and everything. And 700, 2510. 700, 20, 27, that's 710. 20, 22, 23. Doesn't look like it was something we ever stocked, or it's in the wrong. Like I say, this is vendor 510, and I should probably be in 550. 510. Yeah, there I'm in 550, 30 dash, 20 dash, okay. 700, I said 2510. 2510, there it is, sensor kit. Top of LA100. I don't even have bin LA100 anymore. cleared that area out, moved parts around, and sold that storage or those bins to make room for other stuff. That's been a while. Well, we'll just have to find a new home with it for it down in with the other stuffs. Oh my. More seed tube sensors. This says it's for the Vanguard system, which I think is what my drill has on it. Look at that price. I'm probably never going to use them all, but definitely a value. I think they're shaped wrong to fit the white tube. I got more seed sensors here that are in value than what I paid for everything. It looks like it should clamp on there. Whoops. God, I don't see why those won't work. We're on the white planner. Maybe I should punch that number into the old internet machine. These might just be an aftermarket. Found it. Standard rate seed sensor. And fits. Compatible with Dickie John, John Deere, Computer Track, John Deere. Used on Deere 7000 series, Kinsey white planters. Bada boom. That is through Ag Express. That's awesome. I'll send a couple of those out to the shop to have on hand for the planter and put the rest in parts. I broke down and got my glasses, got my laptop. Much easier to read. And all these sensors. Apparently AGCO no longer sells the sensor separately. They figure if you need a new sensor, you probably need a new seed tube. So I'm having trouble finding that number, and then apparently I didn't stock them under that number. I don't know. I'm gonna find a spot for it downstairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not it. 8, 9, 10, 11. Plus there was 2 of them I put in my pile of stuff to take out to my workshop. So 12 of those, plus a couple other sensor kits. Yeah, that's I paid $400 plus a 10% buyer's premium for the whole kit and caboodle, so I think I did all right. And then I have these tubes. I have a location for those, A420. So I'm going to run all this stuff downstairs, and then I'll start on the next part. My handy dandy little basket that the wife bought. Shh, we won't tell her. Now that we have a bigger screen to work with, I don't even need my glasses. Let's see if these O-rings come up. 709 239 45. O-ring. It crosses over to a Massey number. I clicked on it. Oh, it's loading. I've got fast internet now, but AGCO doesn't always. I did discover they must use Amazon Web Services, because a month or so ago Amazon Web Service was having trouble, and so did AGCO parts books. It's an O-ring. It doesn't even tell what size. That's just they cross reference to a common number. I'll probably just send that out to the shop, and it can, you know, go in with the other O-rings where it can be useful. 247 658. I think these are bearings. Yeah, for the the seed unit where the seed meter goes on, if I am right. I guess we can plug it into the old AGCO parts book and see what it says. And we'll give it a W. When you're looking for parts, it helps to try with and without the W. 658. B. Bearing assembly. Yeah, those are worth $32.41 a piece. Now the nice thing is you can go down here, click on parts book. This works better on a computer or a laptop. It does work on a phone, and the phone stuff's been getting better. So white planners, we know that. Yeah, we'll click on that. And then it'll go down and say what models. See, even 5000 series. We'll click on 6000 since that's what I have. And it'll tell you miscellaneous recommended dealers Oh, no, it is the bearing for a single closing wheel. Okay. Well, it's good to know. I bet I stocked those because we sold a lot of those back in the 5000 series days. 247. Now is where the glasses come out. I'm going to look so intelligent, whether or not I am. Wow, that does go quicker. 658. 658 right there, bearing NE033. Well, that's upstairs, and as I said before, I'm trying to get upstairs parts moved to downstairs. Give me more upstairs room for, you know, life in the married world. Let me dig through that storage container and see if there's any more in there before I run them down the stairs. And I'll just find a new spot for them once again. I should be making an updated database, or make a mark on here to where they are at. But I'm putting all the planter parts together so I can go hunt and peck if worse comes to worse. These I recognize. These are the cam bushings for the closing wheel. The V-type 2-wheel closing wheel like I have on my planter, and I know mine are got some that are getting pretty whipped. So these are going out to the shop. I'll put them in with the planter parts. Roll pins, I'll put them on my other roll pins. They will be handier in the shop. Now I've got, looks like some kind of kit. Seal motor kit. Well, let's plug that number in. Just to see what the heck it goes to. 700, 723, 299. Seals kit. Yeah, I gathered that much. Okay, it has a loader rated. White planters. No, it didn't update that down there. Okay, well, let's overview. Then let's make it reload the parts book part. Okay, yep, we're quite confident it's for a white planter. And I don't want to search by keyword. It is for something in the 8000 series and newer. So not anything for my planter, and after we close, so I know there ain't gonna be a bin location for it. So I'll have to make one up for that. So, okay. Next up, some kind of cylinder seal kit. Got changed to a 700 number, but one of their parts people was kind enough to give it the old planter number, 854-181. So let's try that, 854-181. It had an X after it. Oh, and it's automatically converting it to the seal kit. Yep, same part number. All right, let's see what loads up. Yep. Good things, good things. White planters. 8000 series, 8000. So once again, something I don't have. But, you know, I guess I'll go with those others. Who knows? It might fit something I want it to fit. I got room for a couple more parts in my little bucket of go downstairsness. Let's see, we got these. I recognize these. That's all of them. Like it. These are insecticide spreader. If you're using granular insecticide on your planter, mine had these on them. They rubber got rotted, but I haven't used an insecticide in forever. They have a B- number, but something tells me that's a, let's plug it in, but I bet that's a manufacturer number, not a white number. Okay. Yeah, B32601, B32601. Oopsies. Get back up there. B32601. Nothing. I bet we stocked them. All right, let's go to parts book. 6,000 planter, because there are a lot of models that took up 6,000. And hopefully you're gaining something out of watching me do this AGCO parts book, because I need to make a video on just how to go word navigate this, especially when it comes to the Oliver stuff. They've got some oversights, I'll call it, errors, but one way or another, there's some stuff that doesn't quite read right. Dashes in the wrong spot, just clerical type things where someone didn't type in what they should have. Hydraulics, lots of hydraulics on a planter. Well, part of it's just the row units. Here we go. There's so many variations. A 6, 4-row only has 2 lift cylinders. A 6 has 4 lift cylinders. Seed meter, inside, there we go. Meters and hoppers. Okay, load. Where's the little disperser? All right, maybe it's the next page. Earlier type. Oh, spreading. Here we go. Spreading attachments. Yeah, they got a high one and a low one. And this looks like the low one. Number 13. Oh, yeah, look at that. The DB 32601. So it was almost it. There's no D on there. But that is definitely a newer number that I won't have in my list of goodies. I'll figure something out. All these bolts have a part number. They look like they're regular right-hand thread. The disc openers on it would be the left side have left-hand thread, and that way if anything drags, they're still tightening the bolt. So I could see why they'd stock left-handed thread, but these look like regular, maybe because they're threaded all the way up, but they're going out to the shop. They're bolts. And let's see. Oh, and oh no, it's another seal kit. We'll have to punch that up. A few things in here. Oh, some hydraulic fittings. Or O-ring boss to JIC. I'll probably put them out in the hose machine. A bunch more O-rings that can go out. Washers that probably have a purpose. Chop. Ooh, a brush. I just put new brushes in the seed meters yesterday, last spring, so they should be in excellent shape. More O-rings. What they got for part number? Another Massey part number 364-102X1. Anything go out the shop. And some more washers. Those actually have what looks like an Oliver part number, K4666. Well, we might have to punch those in. Oh, some Evil hose clamps. They use these on the fertilizer drop tubes. I suppose we'll send them out to the shop. More O-rings to go to the shop. A piece of thread rod. Shop. And a box. Woo! Okay. Let's try this K part number first. That has me curious. When they were doing, prior to those 6-digit part numbers I was talking about earlier, tractors were given a letter for their project. K was the 88, and you'll see a lot of K part numbers because the 88 was developed first, and then they tried to use common parts wherever they could, so you'll see K part numbers on 77s, 88s, Super 77s, Super 66s even. Just depends on what it was, but that way they weren't, having 3 different part numbers for the exact same washer, that did the same thing in the hydraulic unit or something like that. So let's see. K, 4, 6, 6. How many sixes were there? 3 of them. We won't talk about that. Flat washer. Still a good part number. It looks like they're expensive at $11.16, but you get 4 per package. Yep. And so then they're only $2.79 each, which is still expensive, honestly. Parts book. I might have to edit some of this, you know, weight out. Like I said, I have got really fast internet now, and that has really alleviated the whole YouTube upload thing. It's a weight planner part. Well, let's just see what it goes to. So yeah, like the 2844, that was A's. The 70, that got the B designation. So if you see a B something, it's a 70 part number, but it also could have been used on other tractors. H's were 60s, and you'll see on like the throttle quadrant on pretty much all your fleet lines and supers, you look on the backside and it's casted with an H number in it because that throttle piece first came out on the Oliver 60. They saw no point in reinventing the wheel, and something for the markers. Probably just a thrust washer or something. Row units, depth gauge wheels. Let's see what that says. Oh, I know. I recognize them now. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe. They're probably the ones on the end here. Let's zoom in some more. Not on that, on this. And it doesn't have a call out for that washer. Maybe on the other side. No. Well, that's just cruel. Oh, it's probably a sub part of 14 here. So we got the lock washer, the washer, your flat washer, which there was some of those. Those are your shims. Huh. Well, here's what we can do. We can just put K4666. And it'll probably come back to the exact same thing. Hardened washer. So I guess that's a row unit. Oh, now I'm betting now. I'm betting it goes. Yeah. Where's the bolts that hold the parallel links on? Here we maybe go. Okay, it is part number 9. Oh, okay. Where the depth screw screws into this link here. There's a washer there. Okay, well, we'll send them out one way or another. Now these hydraulic fittings are going to go in with my other hydraulic fittings. This just looks like a piece of foam. Cushion, they call it. W247933B. Oh, look, we're even on the right page. 9. Let me turn on my spectacles. You're making a German spectacle of yourself. Not anything we ever stocked. It's just a piece of foam. Let's see what this seal kit goes to. 855 138. What am I looking for? 855 138. It is a seal kit. Yeah, I kind of figured that much out. Here it comes. Here it comes. It's only $7.39, but it's on back order, even at AGCO. Top one is my dealer's inventory. The bottom one is basically what AGCO has that they could ship to them in the next, few days or whatever. Kind of hoping this is for the blower motor, because mine kind of leaks a little bit. White planners. They could play a little tune. Oh, central fill planner. Do not have one of those. Never sold one. Blower assembly, seating, metering, hydraulics. Seed distribution fan. Oh, okay, that was probably a separate fan from the air pressure fan. Interesting. Well, we'll find a home for that. And those. Well, let's go digging again. Oh, I can tell you right now, W941, that's a O-ring. During the 6-digit part numbers, 900 series numbers were O-rings. So I probably have some of these. Maybe I'll start stocking those where they should go. And that way, if I need a specific application, I ain't got to dig through a box. 941. We'll just separate all rings off for later. Yeah, here's some more. Oh, someone was nice enough to put the old Oliver number in. Thank you. Some kind of orifice. It's a planner number. It's 800 series. Probably a restrictor for like a hydraulics of some kind. More O-rings. Oh man. Another washer. Slipped through the cracks. This did go to a sprocket clutch. Ooh. I bet that was in the bin and the parts tag fell off because I don't think there's any of those in there. 942. That's another O-ring. Yeah, I'm going to have some O-ring fishing. Ooh, someone actually, Robert Lee, all paid. He must have never come and picked it up and they put it back into inventory. Another O-ring. Oh, more washers. Looks like bushings for the parallel links. That can go out for the springs maintenance. 851, 3, come on, show yourself. 393. Let's punch that in just to be safe. 851, 393. Oops, and it helps if you push the right buttons. Bearing. Yeah, oh. It looks like one. In stock. We can just click on parts book and it'll load it. Eventually. White planners. Oh, this is a 5000 series, but it must be press wheel and gauge wheel. Oh, you know what this is? It's probably a arm bushing for the right in here, and they call it an, yep, sure enough, the arm that the wheels pivot on, so it'll work on my 6000 series as well, despite what they say. I'm quite confident. In that pile it goes. Look, some more washers. They have plenty of those. O-rings, O-rings, O-rings. That might be a seal kit though. Description. Seal kit. Well, we better look that one up. These are shims. They go on the seed meter. I'm trying to remember. More seal kits. Oh, I think I already, yeah, put a couple of those downstairs. I recognize that part number. Hey, look, my memory's working better. Ooh, this part got returned by another dealer. Who knows? Maybe it was me. But the sticker right here with the barcode, I recognized it because the parts that they rejected that we returned, they'd put one of those on it. That's another seal kit. What do we got here? More of those sealing strips by the looks. Oh, look, I did miss one of those. Oh my goodness. Shims. more washers, man. Gotta say, when they stocked apart, they really stocked it apart at this dealership. O-ring. This looks more like a kit because there's a few different seals in there. Oh, this is a meter wheel for the insecticide hopper. Once again, I don't use insecticide. Down pressure spring for parallel links, the light pressure one. Probably just enough to keep the rattle out. I bet I've got a home for that. Some doohickey. Something solid in there. We'll look up the number. A link. Anchor of some kind that has a bin location, but no part number. Oh my. Well, that's just gonna probably have to sit in the pile of who knows. These look like matching O-rings, so we'll put that in the O-ring pile. Fertilizer tube clamp. Oh, that's the jam nut for the hydraulic filter on a planter. Suppose customer may have lost one. And it has something or another. A couple of wandering O-rings. Okay, that wrapped up the parts. I got everything put away. The O-rings are going to go out to the shop. A lot of them weren't the ones we had. But I had to take off yesterday, didn't get this done, and now I am getting it done. And I checked the P.O. box. Actually, my father-in-law checked for me. Thank you, Randy. And there was a couple pieces in there and a couple I wanted to share with you. And this one comes from viewer Lee in Vermont. If you recall, about a year ago, I did a video on the mystery solved 2150 that had no serial number tag. The block had no serial number, and with some clues and some searching in the at the museum. Thank you, Tom and Derek, for your help with that. I was able to narrow it down, and we found out where the tractor had originally gone to. Well, this adds to the story, and I think this gentleman, Lee, has his facts pretty straight from everything he gives here. So hopefully this is coming through. I'm trying to speak up and... But Chris, just saw your year-old video, Mystery Solved, about your friend's 2150 Oliver. I'm in New Haven, Vermont. The far end of town borders on Ferrisburg, which is where the Divines was. Yes. I did business with Divines Sales and Service for 35 years until AGCO took away the franchise when the owner passed away. I remember them selling a 2150 to a dairyman on that end of town. It was the biggest tractor in town, so there was a lot of talk about it. The farmer was Wesley Kimball. A year or two in, I heard that he blew the block and Divines had to rebuild the engine, which matches up with your tractor. Kimball left the dairy business long ago, and I never heard what happened to the tractor. It would have been easy for it to end up in northern New York, where you found it. Actually, my friend Blaine found it there, got it moved to Michigan, where my friend Phil ended up with it. But that does fit with the whole story. The engine not having a serial number stamped in the block, if they just had just ordered a replacement block from Oliver at the time, it would have a serial number stamped in it because it wasn't a complete engine. It was just a parts, a part of an engine. So that would explain why this tractor has no engine serial number stamped in it. And of course, the actual serial number tag had been removed by the last owner before Blaine bought it. And there's a go around there. The owner took it off for some reason, put it in a desk, could never find it again. And that's why that was missing. So definitely fits the whole story. So back to Lee's letter. Your research shows the tractor is being shipped to Fournier's in Swanton. They're still in operation. I've done some business with them since Divines closed, which I was able to find that. You can look up their website. I wasn't privy to any inside information about the sale of that tractor, but everything said publicly was that Divines sold that 2150. Never heard the name Fournier mentioned. My best guess, Fournier ordered that tractor for a customer, or they might have just ordered it to be on the lot. I'm adding to him here. It arrives and the deal falls through. The tractor is setting on the lot. Kimball approaches Devines about buying that model that has just ended production. Devines look around and find one in inventory nearby. They go get it and close the deal. Just a thought. Very possible. That happened all the time. We would do that where a customer would come in and want a certain model, and of course they don't want to wait months to get it, or if it's one that's being discontinued but they have their heart set on it, that's what you get them. When I decided to get my 6125, they had been discontinued. I wanted one with 42-inch rear rubber. I couldn't order one just like I wanted because they weren't going to make any more. They were going to the 8000 series whites, and so I had our rep search deal in inventory, and the closest he could find was a 2-wheel drive with 40 or 38-inch rubber in Wisconsin, and so we transferred that tractor in from Wisconsin. And in retrospect, there was a front wheel assist one with 42-inch rubber that I should have went ahead and bought. Front wheel assist was another $10,000 option. I didn't order that one. I got the 2-wheel drive one that I've got. It's still a great machine, but I definitely would probably be pulling a little more with it with the front wheel assist, but hindsight is always 20/20. So yeah, it's signed Lee S. And thank you, Lee, for writing in. That definitely, I think everything you said probably is accurate. You know, I guess we'll never know 100% for sure, but it fits with all the evidence we have for that tractor. So that's just another page to add to its story. So thank you for writing. Let's see. And then the other thing I got is from JC. Oh, let's just pull the letter out. Actually, he said a binder. There's one more thing in here. I'll show you. On the front is a letter. Hey, Chris. I have a couple of Oliver-related items that need to go to a good home, and I thought about you. The 2 Oliver nameplates are off an Oliver power unit that pumped irrigation water, just for your information. I enjoy watching your channel. Keep up the good work. And sure enough, oh yeah, they're sandwiched together so much you can't really tell it's 2. I would say these are aluminum. I thought there was a magnet around here of some kind. We're going to call them aluminum because they feel and look like aluminum. But yeah, they Oliver had power units. It was just an engine with maybe a clutch, depending on how you ordered it, to run mostly irrigation units, but you could put it on a forage harvester if you needed power there, whatever. Had several different sizes, and they would have, you know, stuff on them. I think by the time these were earlier, but and then in here is also the Oliver Delco owner's the Oliver Tractor owner's Delco battery warranty and adjustment policy certificate. A couple of those. That is cool. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And an operator's manual for 770, 880 tractors. What is the date on this? 1958. So it's an early. And that is from Jaron. Thank you very much, Jaron. I will add this to my collection of manuals. And let me come over there and grab the camera, and we'll find a good place for these. Oh, there's getting to be not a lot of real estate left in here. Ooh, I think that's a spot. We can put one in here. Hey, there's a tachometer I was looking for. I think that's a non-worker. That might be the one out of Herman. Yep, from 1950 GM Terra Tire. That is one of Herman's old tachometers, 6,800 hours on it. But if I set that back there, and you can see some of the nice, these are the Deader Supercast toys. The disc actually, the cylinders work, the disc lifts and folds, 6-row planter goes up and down, the markers well, you got to charge them with some kind of oil to do that. The 12 bottom flex back plow back in there is the hydraulic pump. Oops, let's slide this over. It's on this as well. There. They're interfering with each other. We'll find another spot for this one. The 1500. Let's just pull that out because, you know, we're here. white bucks, white farm bucks. There's a thing here what tells what you could. Oh, attached are your white farm buck certificate for qualifying for tractor sold during the December of 1980 program. White bucks form is attached, and I think this was just for the dealers. If an implement has been previously sold to the customer and remittance has already been sent, yada, 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 purchase, whatever. But I think this was an incentive for the dealers that you could get things. Probably, let's see. Tractor model 4210. Oh, apparently it come from us selling a 4210. I didn't know we ever sold one of those. The old model, or maybe it's not from my dealership. I mean, I was pretty young when the 4210s were getting sold. I wasn't here constantly. I had to go to school for some reason. You know what? Well, I don't think I've shown this off. The wife and daughter got me a Model 73 picker toy that just come out. And to match the real one I bought. I thought that was pretty cool. I put it on my Christmas list because, hey, I had the real thing. Now I need to get the toy version. And right on top here, I bet we can put that right there. It's kind of far back in there, but hey. All right, that's a good spot for that. And I think that'll wrap this one up. That's everything I had, and probably plenty of time. Now I got to put it all together so you guys can watch it and enjoy your Sunday morning. All right, we're going to call it good. As always, I appreciate everybody watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.